What's up, everybody, and welcome in to the Backliners podcast, Aggro and BaRRaCCuDDa, as per usual. Today, joined by none other than Polar Bear Mike. Listen, for those of you who were here early, well done. You got here early. You may have seen me staring longingly at my other monitor. It's because I was waiting for Bear to finish his dang assault game, man. I was waiting for you, Barry.
Okay. I'm literally 3 minutes late, dude. Like, I just finished.
Listen, but it caused me to go live without the splash screen because I was making sure that I was ready to run our hashtag ad. I get punished for doing my due diligence being a good host.
Those don't feel very correlated, by the way.
What do you mean? They're
like
all
you
correlated.
putting up the wrong screen and him being late doesn't. That's not a cause and effect, you know.
How are you not getting it, Mike? If Barry was sitting on his home screen.
Am I stupid?
Yeah, I think you might be. If Barry was sitting on his home screen waiting for me to tell him you're good to host, then I would have instantly put back my splash screen and been good to go. But I was locked into his Cthulhu gameplay. Where he zones the Chiron, he kills him for free, he kills another guy, he goes, we're winning, then all of a sudden he realizes his whole team is dead and realizes, I think we're losing. Like, I was enraptured.
Yeah, I think that's just something that frontliners have to go through, you know?
And we all know what rapture means, and I'm not looking it up.
Enraptured. E-N. Just, I was caught up in the moment. And that's what you get for going to twitch.tv/2Rs, 2Cs, 2Ds. And that's how you can find BaRRaCCuDDa stream, for the record. Mike, I know as an avid podcast fan, I'm sure you listen to all of our episodes going through and talking about the Season 8 changes for each and every class. But you've been kind of on the sidelines for a little bit here. You were taking a little Smite break, and you're finally diving in. So without getting too emo here, why did you decide to take a little break to start off Season 8?
I did it last year as well, not as long. But from like the end of Worlds to when we'll play our first set, it's like 3.5 months. So I just kind of think like the actual release of the season doesn't line up with our competitive career, and I think it's like the only long break you're gonna get. So in my opinion, I just like wanted to take advantage of it. And I think a lot of people, like after Worlds, they'll like see the Worlds meta, I guess, and like want to practice that and like grind it out. And I definitely did not have any desire to do that. That is for sure.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense. So I guess the best way to do it then, since you've played. You just started playing this week. What's the ranked record looking like right now, Mike?
I'm like, I don't know which is which, but I know between like Duel and Conquest, I'm like 31-0 because I feel bad, dude. I'm just like going through gold players, and it's rough, man. And I'm not playing like off roll. Like I'm playing my main role, and I'm like at their Phoenix at like 7 minutes, and like I'm not tryharding, but I'm not trolling either. So I don't know.
Yeah, we played a game together. Your first Conquest game was with me on stream, and you picked Hercules, and you single-handedly won that game pretty much instantly. Well, of course, except for me. Barry, if you want to actually check the VOD, twitch.tv/Aggro, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I was putting the Chernobog mechs on display. I did not max my...
It live?
Yeah, he might not have. That's kind of on him. But listen, anyone can do that. Actually, I turned off my VOD, so unlucky for you. Well, everyone says that's the way to get around DMCA. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just did it.
So I just not play DMCA music on your stream.
What's the point of streaming if I can't listen to my music?
There's plenty of music that's not DMCA.
All that music's bad.
Incorrect, bro.
Are you a Monster Cat stan?
No, I am a UNFD stan.
What is UNFD?
It's the record label for like metal and alternative, and they said none of our music is DMCA, and I listen to it on stream.
Okay. All right, I'll try it out, but no promises.
I don't feel bad to be put in your place, but
Oh,
I googled it. He's not trolling, you know. It's good.
Okay.
It's
all right.
sick.
Not bad. I guess I'll give it a shot, but I highly doubt. Go ahead.
Okay, I know we're on Twitch, but the Twitch soundtrack or whatever it is has some of the worst music I have ever listened to.
Oh, it is not good.
Yeah, do not go down that road ever. Literally worst music.
Listen, I'm trying to bump some of my favorite bands. I assume they're all their record labels would DMCA me. So I turned off odds, turned off clips, and the Twitch police best come correct for me while I'm live. And I'm taking the risk, That's how it is. This is not advice for any streamers out there.
Yeah, it's terrible advice.
Yeah, this is horrible advice. Take it all with an asterisk. Yeah, stream bets. Classy Dave said stream beats. I thought he was saying that I'm making a stream bet, kind of, and I was about that, but I'm not about stream beats. I'm about stream bets, and I'm betting that I'm not going to get in trouble. You guys picking up what I'm putting down here?
Yeah, I mean, I want to have a gambling problem, so. Yeah.
Right. Well, we've got a channel in the Discord just for that, Mike. You've got to hop in on some of those bets. That's the big thing.
They're like betting against competitive Smite stuff. I can't
I'm not doing that either. But the Atlanta Hawks are going to make the playoffs as the 7th seed or better, and I'm going to be collecting some jelly beans from Mirk.
The standings are pretty.
Hey, Hawks are on a 4-game win. They're on a 4-game winning streak right now. We just changed coaches.
They're feeling good.
We're hitting the gas, as we should probably do with this podcast, because I have no idea what's going on. Okay, actually, I'm not going to talk about Smite. I'm going to talk about why my brain is so frazzled.
This is a couple hours.
Yeah, this is going to be our longest episode ever. What's the deal? This clock moving around totally messed me up. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was cooking dinner.
Daylight savings. I thought you meant like a little. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Daylight savings time totally messed me up. I feel like it's only 7:00 and I still have an hour to get started on the podcast. That's so we're not starting for an hour. That's the deal. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk until actually 8:00. And then we're actually gonna get started. Okay, chat's getting mad, but Panda Cat's the one riling up all the viewers. So I don't know how much I really value that. Mike, should I be listening to Panda at all? What are you doing, Lane?
Max is just like, I don't know. He's just clowning.
No.
I think he's super intelligent and always right.
Wow. Well, in that case,
you're talking about me talking about Panda. That makes sense.
No, I'm talking about Panda towards you with any topic that he happens to bring up. Or subject in like a team talk.
You lost me. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Really? We're a little confused, but that's fine. All right, let's talk season 8 then, I suppose, since that's what chat wants. Mike, let's do it this way. Let's do things that you thought, like expectations that have panned out. Again, with the understanding that you're playing just mostly against gold players so far, you're starting to climb up those ranks, but in your own experiences. What were some things that you thought were going to be good that did turn out to be good, and some things that you thought were going to be good but turned out to be bad, and vice versa? You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
First, I just want to say, yesterday I did ascend to the ranks of. I had a couple games against Rongyu, and I'm in the MMR range where I can actually hit some Qs. Okay.
Whoa! Could you hit the Nika Q?
I could hit the Nika Chu Q.
Okay, that's big.
I can't hit the Nika Q, but the Nika Chu Q is in my.
You've got like what, 36 hours before he's back on Twitch.tv/Nika.
Yeah,
so
it'll be in my Q zone for sure.
Right.
So God, I'm devolved. So, anyways, nothing really surprised me a ton. I mean, even though I wasn't playing and I was like trying to like stay off like internet social media stuff just to like detox a bit, I still like watch streams and like obviously like talk to people who are playing and like read our team's group chat. So I already like went into it with a few expectations. I'd say the only thing I feel like there's some of the balance for support starter items is like a little frustrating to me, because I just think that the core mechanic of it is you do just need like farm on those starter items. Like you just need gold. And I know that Benevolence like got buffed, so maybe that'll help it. But I feel like War Flag's kind of just like a dead item for a competitive player in its current state. And that's kind of frustrating. So yeah, I'd say that's like an item that I expected to feel like a little better in lane. And I was kind of underwhelmed by it. And then things that felt pretty good, I think just like a bunch of the damage items, if you're a guardian, like any of the single damage items you can go feel really, really good. Even like the new Deso is like, of course, on some mages it's really sick, but having like flat cooldown reduction on your abilities, like just taking that time off for a guardian as like a luxury item feels really, really good as well. So I feel like there's a little bit more diversity there. I think previously you pretty much just get Spear of the Magus, like most times maybe Chronos Pendant if you needed CDR. But yeah, that's about it.
BaRRa, from your end, Mike saying that he was expecting Warflag to feel a little bit more impactful. How impactful do you think it feels to you as the ADC when your support has it?
It feels really nice if you're able to take the 2v2s, but if their jungler's been in duo jungle for like 30 or 40, 50 seconds, and you're unable to like really just push your lead over there, and you win like an early aggressive start on him, it feels awful. Because you're just like, okay, the second we play up here, he's going to be here, and then we'll just get ganked and die, and then we're Warflag from behind, so it's just awful. Which is kind of like the pressure meta from before. Like, anytime you get behind with like one of those super aggro lanes, you just lose.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It does feel nice if you're able to take the fight, and if you're able to do the 2v2s after you kill the minions, but outside of that, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think
once he leaves lane, I think it's really bad.
Yeah, just getting put in my place again. No worries. I'm used to being here all of a sudden, I suppose. I guess, Mike, how different? I mean, this is all again with the understanding that you haven't started scrimming yet, and it's still just starting to break into some of the bigger queues. But how different do you feel like the support god pool is at a high level? Do you think it's changed significantly since last year?
It's kind of hard to tell just because like meta changes just in other roles will like impact your own like counter matchups and things of that nature. I haven't played, like, Yemoja was like a top pick all last year. I haven't played a single game of Yemoja yet, so I don't know how she feels. For the most part, I like character strength is somewhat independent of the other changes. Like, obviously, like item changes and map changes influence it. I also think the starts will dictate a good bit, because it just seems like at least the ranked start, which I mean, I think starts will always change a good bit when everybody is like actually in the swing of scrimming and like trying different stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you're just a character that can clear purple like and just get to level 2 on the first wave, then obviously like that'll just favor characters who are really good at level 2. So like a character like Serb, who maybe isn't like as sick level 2 compared to other characters like Horus, for example, probably won't feel as good. So it just depends, but I don't think like anything that was played last year is probably still like just as viable.
Yeah, I think there have been a decent amount of balance changes since the last competitive play, but I kind of agree. I don't think that there's any supports that have really stood out to me. Maybe like BaRRaCCuDDa didn't see a ton of play in support at the end of last year, but he's felt pretty good. BaRRa, any thoughts on the support god pool right now?
Shin-chan's the most OP support god, and there are literally no other support god.
Well, that's because that's for you. That's your support god puddle is Shin-chan.
Bro, that character is so OP. I swear that character is OP. Ganesh got worse. Geb feels alright. I haven't played Sylv, and Cab feels pretty good. I think Cab like Blink Sunder and like Deso or like an offensive item feels insane. But yeah, I just think Shin-chan's OP. I will stand by that.
Correct. Is that right, Mike? Shin-chan busted?
Like, I'm not saying
roast him.
Like,
put him in his place. Put him in his place. Okay. Put him in his place.
Everybody always overvalues how good characters who are hard to kill are, if that makes sense. So like stuff like Shin-chan when it's meta, or Fafnir or Sobek, like if those gods are just annoying to kill, people are like, oh, it's broken. And like obviously if you're a carry, it's really annoying, but like their overall impact in the game is really not that crazy. Like they don't pressure people that well. Yo, you gotta start watching some VODs. I got 3 lands last year. You can watch if you want. We're not playing that game today, Johnny.
Yeah, John puts me in my place, gets a big head, thinks he can come at Mike. That's clearly you don't know the pecking order around here. It's guest on top, then BaRRa, then me. That's how it works. You gotta be showing some respect. over there.
Sorry, continue your Shin-chan roast that you.
No, that was it. It's just like
okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're wrong, but.
Right. Well, now that we know that Shin-chan, and we all agree, by the way, that Shin-chan is obviously the best support in the whole game, potentially even the best character. Brit50 in the chat has a question for young Mike. Brit's heard some mixed opinions on Thebes and seen some supports not pick it up and others do. Do you think it has a place has its place as a must-pick item or optional now that some other items have gotten changes?
Yeah, I could go on like a tangent about this.
Please do. It's a podcast, and Lord knows I'm looking for time here. Who knows what's going to happen the rest of this podcast?
Okay, I guess I should have said this earlier when you asked like expectations on season 8. And one of them were I've seen a lot of people complaining about like tanks not feeling tanky, and I think a lot of that will make sense because there's just more farm and carries are going to get to their full build a little quicker. But part of that is I feel like the way I'm seeing specifically supports build, I don't have as much an opinion on solo because I don't play that, but I see a lot of supports kind of just go, in my opinion, kind of like trash defense items. Like I'll see a lot of like Witchblade and Wingblades and people not going Thebes, and just your overall procs when you get to the late game are just basically crippled from going those items. So I feel like if you're under the expectation that you're going to have like a pretty important team fighting stage, I think like Thebes is always like a really good first item. Obviously, you have to be comfortable playing with your early game and like knowing that power spike. But if you can go Thebes, I think you should go it literally every game. It's just the best defense item in the game, like stat wise. And it just gives you a lot of freedom in the rest of your build. Like it makes it very easy to get CDR elsewhere. It makes it easy to like, you know, if you go Thebes and you get ahead, you can go a damage item third, depending on the character. It just allows you to do things that if you go Sav, you pretty much have to follow a cookie cutter of like, I went boots, then I went Sav, now their mage is a problem, I have to go magic defense, and then you're just kind of like, your ability to build more unique passives kind of whips out of the window a little bit.
Yeah, I think Sav obviously feels pretty good, and stacking those auras feels extra good in Season 8 because of Sentinel's Embrace being so important come the late game. Unless, of course, you're like Gino and you're a Boon Goon who's going to be going in there.
Don't buy that item ever, man. It's not even good to troll with. Like, just buy mannequins or, like, Sundering Axe and just get in there. Like,
what do you mean?
Oh, my God.
But I started with Sentinel's Gift, so now my options are win the game.
Yeah, we agree. That's the problem.
Okay.
We understand.
Okay, so yeah, you want to go with some, maybe just Boots Rush, and then straight into your power items. And then you just get mannequins late game. That's how you play support in Season 8. That's that's what it's all about. No, Sentinel's Boon is bad unless you're as smart as Gino, in which case you could probably make it work.
Well, Gino's just like dead before he's even near his teammates, so he can just get the wave, and then like that wave is worth so much to him.
Right, like he's spending a lot of that gold later on in base whenever he gets put there by dying, by being out of position. Okay,
yeah, you got
that's good. Are you a Sentinel's Boon Shin-chan main, BaRRa? Have you tried it yet? I mean, your gold income's gonna be insane.
I literally never bought that item. I assume it just gives you more gold for minion kills or something like that. Like.
Yeah, and a ton of sustain as well. You get it's just like Sentinels, sustain. Souped up Sentinels
around a minion wave. That's what I want late game.
You get percent healing around the minion wave on sieges. Yeah, that is OP, right?
Just buy Embrace,
dude. There's one more thing about Boon I have a problem with. Like, by the time you get it, it'll be your like 5th item as a support when you're like level 17. And it doesn't even speed up the rest of your build because instead of wasting the 1,500 gold, just buy your 6th item. Like,
what do you mean?
Just skip the freaking Boon, man.
Dude, but then you get so much gold. I'm getting my 3K pot way faster that way, right?
If you get your 3K pot, the other 5 players on the enemy team, they're playing EUSCC and they're AFK the whole time. They are useless, man.
Dude, EUSCC is a slog. There's no other word for it, man. It is slow. That's the way it's got to be. All right, so if you still think Thebes is really good, Mike, binding still feels pretty good to me in the support games that I've played. Is it a Thebes binding and then damage if you're ahead, or just Thebes damage like you said?
Okay, I think like someone asked about boots. I saw. Boots, I think you should pretty much go tank boots or CDR boots every game without exception. I don't think there's characters I would really build Travelers or Lifesteal Boots on, but maybe like one in like literally 200 games. I think tank boots are really overstated, so I think if you just go tank boots, Thebes, that'll be like most of your games, probably like over half. From there, I think it just depends. Like if they're 4 Fizz, like Slime and Sob is going to feel really, really good there. If you're a character that like has good synergy with Pridwin, going that could feel really nice there and just getting CDR. Binding is definitely good if you want damage. I think it kind of depends. I'd say those 3 would be your most common third item, like Pridwin, Binding, or Sav. But yeah, I think you can pretty much do whatever after Thebes, which is kind of the reason I think it's still good.
BaRRa, as a backliner, I don't know about you, but I feel like tank boots are the most broken item in the whole game.
They should be removed.
You start hitting them for like 50, like right when they back, and you can get them like super fast this season. I feel like it's faster than last season, unless I'm just trolling.
I think it is. I think it is.
Your boots finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, for supports.
Feels like it's at least the same.
I think it'll feel faster because people aren't buying to 0 all the time, right? Like if you have Sentinels, you just have an extra 100 gold. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the other thing is like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna kill the support. I'm gonna hit them off this CC, and then they're gonna, we're just gonna chain CC them off of like my kit and my support's kit, and then they have 20% CCR right off the rip, and they I can't CC them like at all. I don't know, man. I'm a tank boots hater, and by that I mean I'm a tank boots lover in that I think that they're the best item in the game, but I hate them because I don't want to play against them.
Yeah, I think they're super overstated and kind of boring to play against, but I think like tank boots like are a necessity, but I think in their current state they're like super overstated.
I hate the CCR on them because I think it limits like support god pools like pretty hard. Like there's just a lot of characters that struggle really hard versus early game CCR. Athena's been like the standard one for years and years. I just think it just limits like god pool diversity when you can get like you're halfway capping a stat at like 2 minutes into the game, 3 minutes into the game, like, and it just completely screws CC. So that's my biggest thing with it. I think the prots I'm not as like mad about.
Yeah. I agree. I think the CCR is the main offender there. Speaking of Athena, pretty spicy Athena change coming in the next patch.
Oh yeah.
Confound the taunt is now going to do damage. Just has some damage on it. Well, how much do you think that affects her in support in particular, Mike?
Probably not that much. Like she'll still have the same problems. I think she'll see more play though, because I think she's probably anytime there's a bigger map and a new season and people are getting used to playing around both of those things, globals are just like inherently better. So I think because of that, she'll definitely get played. Her buff is definitely more to jungle and solo, like just being able to clear easier I think helps them a lot. But yeah, I mean kind of what I said about tank boots, like you're gonna feel like your taunt doing damage is like pretty nice, and then they're gonna buy tank boots and you're not gonna be able to kill the support. And if you want to try to kill carries, there's a lot of better characters than Athena. So
yeah, I think she's gonna be nuts in solo, jungle, maybe even support, because even though it's more impactful in those other 2 roles, imagine we just like, I don't know, imagine that Athena just got 200 base damage. I mean, I guess that's in the situation where you're maxing Confound, but I think you should be, especially now. You just add 200 base damage into whatever ability you want. Like if she hits the 1, imagine it had 200 extra base damage, or the 3. That's like a wild buff, right? Like I think it's crazy.
Like her value will also just be higher just because she is a flex pick, right? Like it'd be different if I don't know what other characters off the top of my head have like CCs that don't do damage, but
not
just
a lot.
that alone, exactly.
Kumba Mez?
Yeah. Like I guess like if Kumba Mez had damage, like maybe you see Kumba in solo. You definitely still don't see him jungle though. So
what do you mean? Kurt's gonna bring that out for sure. Kurt's coming back. He's getting on a team.
Jeez, man.
And he's pulling out the Kumba jungle again, baby. That's where it is. Okay, wait. Yeah. I think if Kumba got damage on the initial Mez and then breaking it early, additional damage, on the
Okay,
mess.
what are you trying to do here, man? Like,
I don't know. Kumba's one of my least favorite characters. to play
Kumba's such a
against.
boring character, man. He's so
Don't put
boring.
him in the meta.
Yeah, agreed. Barry, how have you heard from Jeff Hinla since Athena got buffed?
I actually thought about that right when I saw it. I was like, oh, Jeff would have loved that. But yeah, I actually think she's going to be pretty good in solo for people that are already good at Athena solo, because what Mike was saying earlier, I think people are just going to be bad against globals for a while and not be used to playing against globals, because there are going to be so many other things they're trying to track on the map.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be Athena ult coming in, and you're like, oh, nice, cool. But also I was thinking about all the times where I've been taunted at like 1 HP, and then she reaches me, and I just walk away, and I'm like, in all those situations, I'd be dead now.
Yep.
And I feel like there's so many situations where Athena is just like, you just walk away from her as like a 1 HP carry, and now you're dead in all those situations. I don't know if you can max a taunt now, like you were saying. I don't know if that's going to feel too great.
I don't think you'd straight max it. You'd probably put a couple points. I think you'd put like 2 or 3 points in your 3 and then max it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
you
that
still
makes
need like
sense.
the 3 damage. And I think the cooldown, does the cooldown go down?
No, none of her cooldowns go down anymore. which is unlucky.
Duration goes up on the taunt as you level it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she might be good in support. We'll see what like itemization and map flow, but I think her solo lane got better. And I don't know if there's any junglers that will play her right now.
Dude, I think she's actually going to be a sick jungler. Like, her 3
Yeah,
does a ton of damage already.
No, I mean like SPL junglers.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's just not like, people who would have played her, like Cherry is like no longer with us. Okay, I should not say that. That's
Jeez. Is he okay?
Jesus. Okay, that's on me. I'll take that. That's on me. Yeah, like Cherry's not in the SPL, like, obviously Kurt, so there's not really a lot of
Yo, you know who's gonna own with it is Skungle. Athena is gonna be nasty, man. The scary Cherry's coaching him up. You know he's gonna be telling him to play it.
That could be true. I could see that.
Scary, I don't know. I don't really recall Scary playing a ton of Athena solo, but I'm sure it's something that he's practiced at some point in his career. I don't know, man. I think Athena jungle is gonna be nuts. Especially with Bumba's, like Bumba's hammer is so good on that character. Just getting 80 extra true damage per reach auto and recharging your taunt and your dash to like.
Yeah.
I think that character is gonna be good.
What was the nerf to Bumba's hammer? Did it get nerfed?
I think
For
it
me, I
did.
thought it got nerfed in the most recent patch, but maybe I'm trolling.
This patch or the upcoming one?
Either one. I thought it got nerfed, or like I thought I got like a slight like slap on the wrist or something.
Let's check it out.
I don't see it on the new patch.
It went untouched apparently. Yeah, I thought that item was super OP and was going to get nerfed.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. I think the because a lot of the other jungle items got changed. Like Mannequin's got some changes. Eye of the Jungle got some changes. Protector of the Jungle got nerfed. So maybe that, maybe they're expecting some changes.
It was the set interaction that I was thinking about.
Yeah. I was talking about this with some friends earlier today. Do you guys think that set, where do you place set in terms of overall strength among the cast? Do you guys think that, I think a lot of people expect set to be thought of as the best character in the game. I think he's close, but maybe not a lock for that spot.
You mean for like SPL or for ranked?
Let's do ranked.
For ranked, he's definitely like top 3 or 5 or something.
Yeah.
Like minimum.
Yeah. I think Guan's up there. I'd put like.
Oh God, Guan.
Did you guys hear that, by the way?
Yeah. What was that?
All right, it's my dryer. I just have to open the door. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Mike's multitasking. What a modern man.
Stand up and look super muscular on stream.
Yeah, smart man. Oh wait, this is a good opportunity to run an ad. Hold on, I'm gonna run our ad right now. This is smart. Wait, no, Mike's gonna come back and he's not gonna know the ad's running, so I can't run the ad right now. That would have been so good, man. All right, wait. We're waiting for Mike to put his headphones back in. Okay, Mike, we're gonna run an ad real quick. We should have done it whenever you were doing the thing, but I didn't because I'm dumb. But
I didn't know you guys were running ads.
We're running ads, baby. We'll be right back here on the backliner. Smile.
Wait, can I cycle my laundry then? Do I have time for that?
No, it's like a 30-second ad, and or maybe it's like 15 seconds, and your mic's live the whole time. So just be ready for that.
My
All right,
mic
we'll be right back.
Join Ignition Casino, your go-to destination for the best online poker, table games, progressive slots, and much more. Sign up with the promo code Ignition777 and deposit using Bitcoin to get 25 free spins on 777 Deluxe.
Hugely. Good work, everyone. High fives all around. Clean ad work there. Thank you. And that's why you all saw my face on camera before the podcast even started. For that moment right there.
It was my fault.
Listen, that's not. We're doing our best here on the show. That's all I can ask for. All right. What else do we have? Was there any other questions I had for Mike? I don't even think there were. Again, daylight savings time. Like normally, I'd be going live in 30 minutes. Like my brain isn't in the right spot. We should just get rid of daylight saving time, right?
Yeah. Okay. That is actually true. Yeah.
Like we don't need it anymore,
yeah,
right?
Nope.
Agreed.
But which one is more optimal? Do you guys like what we just switched to, or what we
Whatever
just
gets more daylight across the entire year is the better one.
Agreed.
Which one would give more
So
daylight
is that
across
this
the
one right now?
Yes.
Technically, yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in the optimal part of the year now. That's what we've decided.
I'm not changing my damn clock again.
Dude, I was cooking dinner. I was like, wow, it's only 5 o'clock. Like I've had a ton of time before the podcast, and then I realized it was 6 o'clock. It's been a whole ordeal, man. It has been a whole ordeal. At least the worst was when I was like still in high school. Like that was the worst when you knew you had to wake up even earlier and you like lost an hour of sleep. That was tough, man. That was tough. All right, Britt's coming in and saving us because Britt has another question for Mike. If you were to go with a non-guardian as a support, what gods are you liking there? Baron, Rat, things like that.
So Baron is still my favorite character in the game. I played him once and he didn't feel that sick. I actually do think the changes do help characters like that. Stuff like Baron and Nox are like the main mage support. You could throw in like maybe like Hell, Afro, Isis would probably be like the other three. But mage supports in general, I think, get buffed a little bit by Invader's Curse being like throughout the whole jungle because you don't have to worry about your level 1 as much. And some of those characters have like a pretty decent level 2. That being said, you're also like taking a tank out of your comp, so you kind of have to find that elsewhere. So if people play like Athena jungle, for example, you could do like Athena jungle with the Nox support or something like that, and that's like a combo you could try. But as far as like assassins, I think I played a lot of Fenrir at the end of last year, and he got buffed, so I haven't played him really, but I'd assume he still feels fine. And then there's like, Serket didn't feel great to me. So I'd probably say like Fenrir is probably the best assassin, maybe Naja, and then Rat's probably fine, and then just like any of those mages. I didn't really count warriors in there, but yeah, a ton of warriors are good for sure.
Listen, it's been a hotly debated topic here on the show, how OP Nox's kit is, or how bad Nox's kit is. From a zoomed out perspective, I think Nox might have the most broken kit in the whole game. She's broken. BaRRA thinks she sucks.
No, I think she's broken. I just think everyone sucks with her.
No, Barry, we've argued about this 5,000 times.
Yeah, and I said that she was OP, just people don't know how to play as her.
No. Chat, back me up here.
The noobs always go for the 2-1 combo, and it's a
right, it's bad. You always just
I
won.
agree with that.
Yeah, you just won. Dude,
Yeah.
that is... I'm getting gaslighted by BaRRA right now.
Bro, I remember talking about that on the podcast.
No, you said that you thought she sucked. And I said, no, she's OP. Wait, I said, no, she's OP. People are just bad at her. You took my argument, and you're framing it as your own.
Well, either way, it's my argument now. I mean, what Pat said doesn't matter anymore. It's my argument now. And I'm not sure if I am right, but I'm pretty sure I was right. Anyways, everyone sucks with her because they always go for the 2-1 combo, and that's, yeah.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Whatever, man.
okay, Tailbone literally has my back. He knows.
Right, Tailbone's the one person in chat that says that you aren't gaslighting me, man. That's that's the way it goes.
They're lying.
No, right, Mike. Nox is OP from a conceptual standpoint, right? Like her ult is like broken. I think her ult is so broken.
The effect of her ult is really, really good, and her like the types of CC she has is like really, really valuable. Pretty much just like knockups are the only thing really better, or like a pluck, I guess. But yeah, the only issue with Nox, I feel like, is her one change really doesn't seem like it helped mid laners at all. Like she doesn't really do the job that you need a mid to do. So her dash kind of gets wasted in a lot of roles, honestly. Like the double dash mechanic kind of like it never really comes up, I feel like.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely her like weakest ability. She's fine. She's not broken, but she's fine.
Yeah, I
It'd
mean,
be cool.
Go ahead.
If more characters had like Nox like kits as mages, and then we're just mage supports.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a completely untouched area for Smite.
You mean like having like the Guardian base stats? Or
Mage base stats, but like a mage kit focused around peel or CC / setup and like that style, instead of like just like raw damage. I feel like that'd be cool, like a league style support, but
I mean that exists, right? It's just like
Baron is that type of kit, right?
yeah. I think the like 5 mages I said earlier, I think you could make that argument with all of them. Maybe Hell less so, because like one of her stance is pretty much just damage. But like, if you read Afro's kit, and like if you read just the tooltips, okay, and you like forgot the god name or whatever, like just the effects of her kit seems like it should be a support. It's like a link that like gives you like your teammate damage increase, and you're like. It's just a lot of CC. You're healing your teammate. You're like giving them immunity. Like everything in her kit could very easily just be slapped on a Guardian, and it would be really sick. I think the problem with those characters are just like it's hard to play them support because their lane gets really screwed and their base stats are just really bad late game, and it's hard to play them mid because they just like don't brawl as well, with the exception of Hell, and that's like about it. But the other 4 of them, like Baron and Afro, you kind of have to. Unless they're like OP, like, you know, they kind of were at the end of last year, then it's kind of hard to play them against mages who just like out clear, out pressure you, out rotate you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I mean, you're right that Afro's kit in particular very much feels like it should be in whatever lane you can 2v2 in. And I think that, you know, there's a reason that Afro is super broken in like 3v3 Joust, but it's as soon as you don't get as much farm and can't stay as tanky because of your base stats that you end up kind of falling behind in that respect. And you know, the league, the way that league supports, like mage supports really work is, you know, they've got some of their characters are just, a lot of the mage supports, they have a little bit of CC, but a lot of times you're just like puking damage. That's like, they just go, yeah, we don't care about you getting that much farm. Your base stats are all just insane. You get one item and you're good to go, and you can just own people.
Fire guy.
Brand.
That
Dude,
guy's fun.
He does way too much damage, bro. That character just pukes damage. And that's what I mean. Like, you wouldn't look at that character in Smite and think, oh, that's a support. You know what I mean? It's very different.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like game mechanics are just totally different, like their laning phase and everything.
Yeah, their laning phase lasts so much longer. And the gold disparity between roles is also much, much bigger than it is in a
But the ramp up time is longer as well.
Yes.
Which like that makes a huge difference.
Right. Yeah, there's a whole lot of differences there. But I agree. I think that, you know, we could see the Dart as Agni support, and that's pretty attuned to what League kind of does. But it's just the games are so different that it doesn't really work that way here.
You know what's kind of interesting? Like off the healers, like if you think about a lot of the physical healers, like Guan, for his heal to actually do a lot, it's kind of conditional on his passive, and Horus heal doesn't really like, it doesn't scale super hard, just like the base heal, and that's kind of all it is. And I think it's pretty interesting the way they approached nerfing healing this offseason, because a lot of the the only really egregious like healers are those mages. It's just Afro and Hell. It's pretty much only those two, honestly. Like maybe Ra as well, actually. But Ra, it's like the other effects on his 3, like the prots are really annoying.
Right.
But outside of those 3, like Chang'e's not a super crazy like healer out of combat or in combat. And I think it would have been interesting to give those healers more of just a focus on just like their base healing alone and not have it scale off power. Because like an Afro, for example, it's hard to play her in a tank role because your heal just does nothing. Like you'll heal for like 200 late game through all the ticks, and that's before like anti-heal. Maybe it's like 3 or whatever, 300. But I wonder if they had changed the base of that, I feel like it would help those type of characters be a little bit more flexible with what role you want. And I think Afro is just such an annoying god that people don't really want that, understandably so. But I think it would be interesting to have more of those utility style roles, because I think it could just be the way the players are, or it could just be like how fast you get items as a carry. But I feel like for a pretty long time, there's been a pretty big focus on just like having a lot of like individual pressure and damage through like each class. Since season 6, pretty much, like you play the junglers that, you know, would proc Heartseeker the best or Crusher the best. You would play the mages that would push the wave the best and abuse Soul Reaver and stuff like that. And through those like metas that are defined by those items, it's pretty hard to play characters that have really good like utility answers, even if they would fit the meta, because you get suffocated out of the map pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of one of the difficult parts of MOBA design, is that you really like, you want to, the game is already so complex, like there is no more intimidating genre of game to start a new version of or something like that for a player, and then to say, oh yeah, well, most characters scale off power, but this one doesn't, or this one scales off protections from items, or this one scales off only level, you know, things like that can increase how interesting the game is and give you more diversity in characters, also like ends up hindering you in a lot of ways. So I don't know. I think that's interesting. Bear, any thoughts on that?
I was thinking maybe they make a 6th class that's like a utility class, but I don't know if like we're this late in Smite, so I don't know if that's a realistic thing. But I mean, I feel like people would complain if like they took Afro out of the Mage tab and put her in the Guardian tab, because everyone always loved building power on her, and it's like, oh, my stuff doesn't scale with power anymore. But yeah, I've just always thought that more diversity in support's good. I hated the whole like season 3 invade meta, like that style, I guess, because it's just not fun to play. But I think if there was more diversity in the support god pool. I think there already is a lot of support diversity, but I guess just not in the direction that I want. Like, I think 2v2ing with a mage would be more fun than 2v2ing with like a guardian.
Yeah, I think that just because you've 2v2'd with a guardian for years at that point, you know, just grass is always greener in some ways. I had one more. Oh, I had something that popped into my head, and now I'm forgetting it. Stupid daylight saving. What if I just like that's just like my bit for the rest of my life? Like it's
we're
always
like in June, and you're like, man,
God,
daylight savings in March really just pounded me.
Yeah, it really ground my gears, man. That I don't know, man. Daylight saving stays undefeated. I can't get past it. I don't know. I got nothing. My brain's off. That's the way it goes sometimes here on the Backliners podcast. All right, I think it's time for our random question of the week, brought to you by my green cup. It's next to me. Yeah, I don't know. We're working.
There was
on
a
that.
bit there.
We're working. Well, it is. It's just okay.
Oh, it will be.
Brought to you by my Smite Scuff controller. There you go. That's who's sponsoring this week's
perfect
random question of the week. It's almost time. It feels like we're getting close to getting back to normal. We're getting my wife's getting vaccinated soon because she's a school teacher. The world is about to open up again at some point. You know, once everyone has done what they're supposed to do and gone and got the vaccine. And we were talking today about what we wanted to do as soon as we were vaccinated. Like, what's the first few things that we're gonna do? And here was my idea. This was so smart, by the way. And she was not a fan, and I didn't get it. I was saying that we've been eating at home for the last year plus. We should not eat at home for a whole week. We should go and eat at a restaurant every day for a whole week. And we could hit all of our favorite spots again, and it would just feel good. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I want to do that with you. I'll be your wife. Like,
thank you, Mike. Yes, I do. That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I would just feel bad about all the money.
Yeah, that's what she said too.
You just dine and dash.
Oh.
Okay, don't do that. I'm sorry. Some punchlines aren't good, man.
I think that's solid. I think what I'm gonna do instead is just accept that money is a social construct.
Yeah.
And not think about it.
Right.
That's fair.
I think that's what I'm gonna do instead.
Can you do that with daylight savings time?
In some ways, yeah, it is a social construct.
Drop my thing.
But if I just said it wasn't 8:48 p.m. anymore and it was 7:48 p.m., I would show up an hour late for the podcast. Everyone would be really mad at me. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't work.
Podcast in your head just got changed to 7 now.
What are you guys saying, man?
I should talk to Aaron about that. That's a good
I'm trying
idea.
to help him out, dude.
No, that's a good
so
idea.
wrong.
Maybe it's 7 p.m. now. Until my body adjusts, we're going at 7 p.m. for the Backliners podcast. That's the game plan. Anyways, what are some things you guys are looking forward to once the vaccinations roll through?
My biggest thing is going to concerts, because I haven't been to a concert in like 15, 16 months now, and it's driving me crazy. Mm-hmm. So whenever concerts come back and are fully scheduled, I will be going to as many as I can. And losing all of my hearing.
And all of your money. That's the thing,
and
man.
And all my money.
It's just another way to get us from our money. By the way, everyone's like, man, Aggro must be rolling in it. I'm down to go to Zaxby's and eat in the dining room at Zaxby's, okay? That's not a problem for me. That's one of my favorite spots. I'm excited about that, potentially. That's what I'm looking forward to. Mike, how about you?
I thought about it a lot this off season, actually, but I kind of would want to like actually travel and go on like a real vacation. I don't think I've taken a vacation since like middle school, like a middle school like family like beach trip, pretty much. I don't think I've like done that since then. So it's been like at least 10 years. So I'd probably try to go somewhere.
Little travel action. Maybe we should.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea. Maybe we just get a little gang together, hit the beach or just go somewhere in general. Hit restaurants. Yeah. Dude, we could travel and go to restaurants at the same time.
Wherever has the best food, that's where I would definitely want to like sightsee or like maybe like hike or do stuff like that.
All right, Mike. I got it. No.
I don't
Screw
know.
all
I gotta
that.
be eating food at all times.
I've got a much better plan. I've never been there. I don't know if you have, but we're pretty close to Nashville. We aren't that far from Nashville.
I have not.
Tennessee.
I would slam that. Everything in Nashville, I would absolutely hot chicken, barbecue.
Yes, dude. That's what I was gonna say. What if we just went and we did a Nashville hot chicken tour?
Yeah.
And then, dude, we start a YouTube channel. Okay. We should start a YouTube channel where we just compare foods because we love to eat, and it's like my favorite thing. And we go and we compare all of the different Nashville hot chicken places in Nashville.
That's good content.
Right?
Yeah, it is. But like, we don't have any credentials for that, man.
You don't need it.
Mike, you bulked up to 390. Okay, your credentials shouldn't be questioned by anybody. Okay.
Some would say we hit 400. It's uncertain. It's uncertain.
All right. Well, there's your credentials. Mine are that I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be telling some jokes. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be slinging some zingers out there, and people are gonna like me for it. So that's the idea. Good plan.
Great plan.
I hate content, man.
Dude, I know, and we'll call it Hot Ones.
Okay. Dude.
All right. Clearly, we've run our course here on the Backliner
You've
today.
evolved.
That implies that I was ever evolved to begin with, so I'm not gonna say that ever. Thanks everybody for listening and for watching. Make sure you're tuning in to BaRRaCCuDDa's Twitch streams and mine if I decide to do one anytime in the next 5 years. Mike won't, so quit asking him. Make sure you're giving us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that kind of stuff, and checking out all of the prediction shows. They've got a bunch of different shows across a bunch of different esports, and you guys should be checking them out. I think we have a sweet guest lined up for next week that I'm still not going to spoil because I still need to confirm that he's good, but he thinks he is. So we're going to come in with a cool show next week, hopefully. It isn't Cherio, but I'm down to get Cherry on the pod. I miss that guy.
Oh, is it The Rock?
Why would you spoil our guest, man? How did you know that The Rock is a giant fan of the show? All right, we'll catch you guys next time here on the Backliners. Barry, do the thing.
Bye.
Oh my God, man! Daylight savings is not an excuse for a horrible outro like that, man.
You made me laugh, man.
Who made you laugh?
That's not fair. You did.
How?
I don't know. You said something kind of funny, and I chuckled a bit during my.